on their radar screen.
Of course not.
No.
Research shows, however, that couples have a 50-50 chance of actually growing old together. Finances and communication are the most cited reasons for divorce, but it turns out there are several overlooked marriage problems that could be threatening your relationship, stuff that you don't want to talk about.
I'm always surprised when I find out people get divorced after like less than a year. You're like, well, you're not even trying.
Yeah, right?
Yeah,
It's like you didn't give it an effort. Joining us this morning, relationship expert and our good friend Derek Triplett. Always great to see you.
Nice to see you both.
Thank you. And you mentioned that, and I always think about, too, the couples that have been married 30-plus years,
right,
and they get a divorce, and I think, my gosh, you made it that far, right?
You made it that
far. You made it that far? What are you going to do now?
Stick it out to the end. Come on.
All right, so let's talk about
like
some of the things.
Options.
Right, right. What are you going to do now? Let's talk about some of the things that go into what causes these relationships to fail. And the first one I thought was really interesting, just simply a lack of eye contact.
Yeah.
Well, the lack of eye contact is actually a metaphor of not being able to engage each other, that you're just around each other, you're not really with each other. When you actually looked into the eyes of someone you really love, there's actually a chemical reaction that goes on and you feel differently, but when you miss that, you kind of know when a person's really feeling you, as they say, when you look into their eyes. When couples grow apart, don't do that. Everybody's on their screen and they're just kind of around each other, then they just grow apart.
That happens with people just in general. If you're not looking somebody in the eye, you refuse to look at them, people know you want
you're
nothing to do with me.
I'm not there.
Right, I'm not there. The dishes is an interesting area. Doing the dishes?
Another metaphor for this particular thing. Domestic issues can be a problem when you don't agree how you're going to share domestic issues. But one of the other issues is that when you refuse to be in conflict, that I don't like doing the dishes all the time, but I never say anything because I want to always keep the peace. So when a relationship is not strong enough for the two people to disagree, then it is a false statement of real peace. The real peace really isn't there. A couple that is strong can say, I don't agree with you, or I don't like this, or I don't necessarily want to do this anymore, and know that you have a safe surrounding in order to be able to do that.
Resentment is like plaque. It can build up easily over time.
It can build up, and when you're constantly, for year after year, sacrificing yourself in the sense of, I never get to project what I really feel. I never get to say, I never get to disagree with her, or I never get to disagree with him. That can build up.
Yeah, and that's not good. Okay, this is interesting, too. It's not having a sense of self, right, or individuality?
I say, actually, in my new book, that there's always the individuals within the couple. You can't forget that there are two people within this couple, and those individual needs and those individual personalities and those individual desires still have to be addressed. We don't just fuse together to the point that we get rid of any trace of individualism.
Bring something to the relationship. This is interesting, and I think this is really true, because when the kids are out of control, maybe the other partner blames the other partner for how the children are raised.
Especially when you're the partner who's not as involved in raising the child. Why are our kids acting like this? Interesting thing in one of the articles that I read was that one couple had not made love to each other in a year because their child insists on sleeping with them. This uncontrollable situation. Now, that's just not the house I grew up in. My mother would have put you in your room and it would have all been said and done.
This is your bed.
This is your bed. This is not. And so it's critical that we recognize that when you've got a troubled child, everybody's on edge. Everybody, and the blame game will start. So it's very, very important that parents are teammates when it comes to difficult children.
Yeah, those Disney movies are about an hour and a half. That's more than enough time.
It's true. Put the movie on.
Thank you so much.
Derek, by the way, here's the new book, What You Say When You Say I Do, Derek Triplett, and we thank you so much, as always, for being with us this morning. How can the viewers find you or find the book?
Available on Amazon.com, BarnesandNoble.com, DerekTriplett.com, and WOKB Radio.
You're the best.
Okay.
Thank you, Derek.